What is up, everybody? Josh here again, and today we're going to be showing you a full automation guide on how you can completely automate one 8-mix product and how you can sell it for $999 or more. And we're going to show you how to set this up from the very beginning until you get to this point right here. Let's get into it, shall we? So let's go over a few things you're going to need for this build. The very first thing you're going to need is either a packing station or brick press. So if you want to brick press your products into bricks, or you want to baggy it or jar it, you're going to need a packing station. We usually just baggy ours. You can also brick it. It's completely up to you, whatever you do, but you definitely need a packing station of some sort or a brick press. Next up, you're going to need at least 2 lab ovens and at least 2 cauldrons. And all this can be purchased after 6 p.m. at the warehouse, which is located right behind the laundromat right here. Next thing you're going to need is at least 3 trash cans. You're only going to have 1 trash person, so you just need 3 trash cans. You need 8 mixing stations. We use the MK2 mixing stations. They are the best ones you can get. You also are going to need at least 4 drying racks. 4 drying racks to dry your product to heavenly. So we're going to need that 100%. You're also going to need at least 20 of each of these products. You're going to need at least 20 full spectrum grow lights, 20 suspension racks, and 20 air pots. We use air pots because we like them. They're really good. You're definitely going to need some storage racks, and lots of them, large storage racks. Go ahead and buy you like 20 or 30 of them. You're going to need a ton of them. Now, the other items that I'll suggest that you don't actually need 100% is going to be the wall-mounted shelves. That's going to be for additional storage of items and stuff and things, and also from metal signs. You definitely could sign it up and make it nice and organized, and we'll show you kind of how we do that as we go. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab these shelves, and we're going to go ahead and set up some shelving. So we're going to start over here on this side here, and we're going to place shelves down here. We're going to place about 6 or 7 shelves here. Let's go with 6. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab a sign, or a stack of signs here. In these first 3 shelves, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name them Bot 1, 2, and 3. We're going to have 3 botanists that are going to be pulling from these shelves. Right here is Bot 1, Bot 2, and Bot 3. So that's going to be the 3 separate shelves that all 3 of our botanists are going to pull from whenever we're growing and they're doing racks and all that good stuff. They're going to pull from this whenever they need to pull items and whatnot. And we're going to go and fill those up with soil, fertilizer, and of course coca seeds, what you get from Salvador. Just progress through the game, you'll get plenty of coca seeds and be able to unlock cocaine, of course. Usually I do 2 stacks of soil, 3 stacks of fertilizer, and 3 stacks of seeds per shelf. Of course, if you need more seeds, just contact Salvador whenever you unlock them. Usually just playing throughout the game, you can unlock them. We're going to do a meetup with them and get a bunch of seeds. Of course, the fertilizer and the soil, you can just get from any kind of hardware store. Pretty easy to get from the hardware stores. So fill up all 3 of your botanist shelves. We're going to set those later, but for now, we're just going to set them up. Now, these other shelves right here, of course, we're just going to use that for any kind of overflow, the material that we have. We're going to have to be filling these shelves up manually. That's one of the only things about this that you have to do manually. Everything else is pretty much 100% automated. You got to put supplies into the shelves. If you have a shelf for each botanist, they're going to use the materials a lot slower, and it'll last a lot longer before you have to refill them. Now, if you have like 2 botanists pulling from a shelf, they pull a little bit faster and you have to refill them faster. So separating them into 3 different shelves makes the products last longer. You don't have to refill it as often, pretty much. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab some drying racks, the 4 drying racks that we need. Unless we're going to go ahead and grab some of these shelves right here, and I'll show you what I'll do with those. So next thing we're going to do is right next to this one, we're going to place 2 shelves like this, and I'm going to place 2 shelves over here as well, like so. And what I like to do with these shelves, I'm going to put this shelf right here. You can put these shelves on the wall. They're for storage. And then we're going to put any additional seeds or anything else we want to store. Just a little extra storage right there. And then we're also going to go ahead and put these shelves right here. And this is going to be for any additional leaves that we have around our drying racks. You can put them through the drying racks for now, which is pretty neat. Kind of like so. And we just have some leaves right here we're going to go ahead and put on those drying racks that we've already had from our previous setup of this. Make sure you set up 4 drying racks at least. You don't have to do the shelves unless you just want to. At least do the drying racks, and then what you're going to want to do is bring out number 9 and change it to heavenly, which is the golden star right there. So go ahead and set that up. We'll set out the destination here in just a moment. So now you have all these shelves right here set up. You got your signs set up, and you have the drying rack set up. We're going to move over to our packaging stations, which we'll put over in that corner right there. We're going to grab our packaging stations and our brick presses. We're going to set them both up actually right now. So we're going to go ahead and take our packaging stations, and what we're going to do is flip them around or hit E to rotate, like so. We're going to go ahead and put both of their stations down and both the brick presses down here against this wall. And what I also like to do is I like to put this up for baggies, like baggies or jars, whatever you want to do. If you do baggies, we like to do baggies just because we like doing baggies. And I'm going to put a couple of shelves up here just for some extra storage. And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab some shelves, which we have some additional shelves right here. And we're going to go ahead and hit E to rotate them. And we're going to put at least 2 shelves right here. And that's going to be for baggies. We're going to go ahead and fill these up with baggies. Now that we have baggies on the shelves and we have our packaging machines, what we're going to go ahead and do is set up 8 more shelves and another 3. So I've already got these set up because it just takes forever to move this product. But on this back wall here, you can place 8 shelves and then skip one if you want. You can actually place another one in there if you wanted to. It'd be pretty easy to do so. And this is going to be the 8 mixtures that this product entails. So you're going to have to start from this side over. I put signs above them as well in case you have friends or if you forget what goes on that shelf. But you just want that certain product on the shelf. So oil, kook, paracetamol, gas, kook, battery, horse cum, and mega bean. And that's the order in which we're going to be mixing when we set up our mixing stations here very shortly. And then we have some extra shelves here as well. So if you order way too much product, you can just kind of throw it in like an overflow shelves right here. And that's what those are for. And from there, we're going to go ahead and move on to placing down our mixing stations. Here we have our 8 mixing stations, and the way we're going to go ahead and place these is right here. This right here is just some additional storage, just various crap and stuff like that. This shelf right here is pretty important. This is going to feed our cauldrons later, so just kind of keep that in mind. You can place 4 shelves underneath each one of the stairs there, and they fit pretty good right there. 4 large shelves. But we're going to go ahead and place that very first mixing station there. And then what we're going to do is rotate it where it's facing that outwards like that. And we're going to just kind of leave a block. Just enough for you to go in between. Rotate it again. Rotate it again. Leave a block. Rotate it again. Rotate it again. Up against this wall here. And that should be plenty of room to go in between those. We're going to put this one right here on the back side of these support beams. And this one's going to go straight up against the wall. Like so. And that should be your 8 mixing stations, and they should be set up and ready to go. We're going to go ahead and set up the mixing stations and go ahead and link them together. So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the threshold to 10 and set the destination. So we're going to start left to right. This one's the very first one. We're going to go ahead and assign it to that one. Hit escape. We're going to set the threshold again and set the next destination. We're just daisy chaining these down pretty much down the row. Like so. Setting the next one to the next destination, and that's because we want to do it in a certain order. We want to make sure we're going from left to right here and doing the mixture in a certain order, otherwise we won't get the right mixture. Just setting it and then setting the destination, and then we're just going to leave this one for now. And what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and place a shelf right here in the corner, and we're going to go ahead and assign this destination, this very final one. We're going to assign it to this shelf right here. This is going to be the shelf that they put the product onto before it's packaged. Now, we do have to do it in a certain order, so I do like to put signs kind of right next to the mixing stations, kind of like so, just to kind of remember what they are, just in case we need to do it manually as well. You don't have to do this. It's just something I like to do. Also like to go ahead and put a few shelves here at the very beginning. Not there, right there. And I like to name these finished product, because this is where all of our finished product is going to go. So we have some that's already been made here. We're going to throw those on the shelves and go ahead and stack these. But yeah, this is going to be your finished product area, so you can just pretty much come straight into the warehouse to the right and grab your product right here. So I'm going to go ahead and set up 2 trash cans right now. This is for our trash service, and this is going to be completely covered. We're going to put one on the very edge of the second mixing station right here like so, and then we're going to put one right here on the railing. It looks like it's going to be in the way, but you can still get by it quite easily. So you want to put that right there. You can also put it right there if you want to, but it doesn't matter. just set it right there. You want it to be in this area. And then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and place down your air pods. Now, what I like to do is come out from this one. You can see we have an area right there. We can place one right there and then do that and then pick that one up. Or we could just come out two full blocks there. But what I like to do is put one to the left of it. And then we want to put about 5 down through here. Like so. And then I actually end up usually putting one right there, directly underneath the stairs. And then you want to kind of mirror this over here as well. You want to come out one whole block like this, so you can place it like that and pick that up, or just come out that far. And we're going to leave kind of like an alley in between it, so the NPCs can get between them. And then we're going to leave one space right there, because that's where we're going to go ahead and put our trash cans. And this is going to cover the whole entire area with one trash person. So we're going to go ahead and set up our trash person real quick. Before we go ahead and go any further, we're going to go over how many employees you need. And you're going to need 3 botanists, 3 movers or packagers like these. And you're also going to need 3 chemists and 1 trash person. And you're going to have to make sure they all have beds. It's beds right now, but it could be lockers in the future, because I think they plan on making them lockers. We pretty much just put our beds up top here. Hopefully we'll be able to save some room with lockers when they come out in the future. Make sure you put a bed or locker, and make sure you put money into their beds or lockers so they can go ahead and work. They won't work without money. So make sure you set up your NPCs. Make sure they all have beds. We still have one that kind of needs one. He's a brand new NPC, a brand new botanist. We're going to just go up here and left click the bed. And now we have a botanist that has a bed. And we've filled them up completely with money, so that way they can last a very long time, and they only take so much money a day. Just come up here periodically every couple of weeks in game and refill their briefcases. But we're going to go ahead and set up the trash guy, as we have the trash cans out and they're ready to go. And what we're going to do is we're going to go hit number 9, and we're going to hit E, and we're going to hit assign trash can 0 out of 3 here. And then we're going to go over to our trash cans. So what we're going to do is we're going to left click on the trash cans that we need to assign, and it'll pop this back up. We're going to click on it again and go ahead and sign the other 2 trash cans like so. And you can see here that this area is completely covered by the trash guy, and no other trash is going to be needed in any other areas. You just need 1 trash person with this setup right here. If you do it exactly like this, you will have no issues whatsoever. So we're going to go ahead and set up the rest of the growing area here. We're going to put these little railings up so we can put the lights on, like so. Now I know you could probably put 1 light per 2 plants, but I don't think it really matters too much. You don't have to pay a power bill or anything like that, so just an extra light or 2 is not going to kill you. Do as you wish, though. We're going to go ahead and set up all the railings here. We're going to make sure we have a railing above all these plants. And look, we can go in between there really nice and easily. Then we're going to take our full spectrum lights, and we're going to put them on top of the railings, like so. And we're going to do that for each one of them. Stairs. So now we have 20 pots set up and they're ready to go. This is pretty well set up. The only thing I'll say is that we're going to go ahead and set up the lab station and the cauldrons next, and those are the last things we need to set up. The cauldrons, what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and rotate them so we can access them from the outside right here. And then I'll do the same over here, like so. And the lab stations, I'm just going to put them like kind of long ways like this. I did have them kind of flush with the cauldrons, but it seemed like AI was having a problem with that. We can still get through the middle here, and so can the AI. And that's pretty well set up. So what we got to do is we pretty much got to chain everything together and set some permissions now. And this is kind of a more difficult part of the whole explanation. So we're going to start where we start, which is the pots. So we need to go up to the pots, bring up your 9, your little clipboard. We're going to select coca seed, and we're going to select fertilizer. And then we want to select the destination. The destination is going to be one of these drying racks right here. So you just want to put about 4 to 5 per drying rack, and that should be plenty enough. And also with these drying racks, you can see these are purple. You want to make sure you assign these to the gold. You want to make sure your coca is heavenly, and that is the one that takes the longest. You're going to be growing them to purple, and then just takes a short period of time to go from purple to gold. Make sure all of them are set to gold, like that right there. So we're going to go ahead and do this for every single pot. It does take a little while to do so, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and skip ahead. But you want to make sure you have maybe about 4 to 5 per drying rack, and then just switch over to another drying rack and assign them. You want to make sure they're assigned to the drying racks. That way they go straight from being grown to the drying racks like so. You can put 5 per drying rack since we have 20 plots. We'll do that and we'll be back. And that is the last drying rack. So we've got them all set up. You can actually kind of hover over them, see where they're going to, sort of. So if you get in this direction over here, you can see these are all going to which drying rack. So we got about 5 set up per drying rack. So these are all set up and ready to go. So now what we got to do is we got to come over to the drying racks. Now we've already set the golden permission, or the heavenly, so we got to go ahead and take these drying racks and make them go to the cauldrons. They need to be dumped straight into the cauldrons like so. So usually what I do is put 2 drying racks per cauldron, like so. And then we'll take these 2 over here and make them go to that cauldron right there. And link that together. Okay, and then what we need to do is, you guessed it, from the cauldron to the lab oven. So we need to do this cauldron to this lab oven right here. You see it's linked together with those little arrows. Same thing with this one right here, this cauldron to this lab oven. So then what we're going to do is link the lab oven to the very first mixing station right here, like so. And we're actually going to go ahead and dump both of those into one mixing station. It'll mix 20 at a time. So once those are done, we're going to have them both going straight into the mixing stations. So we're going from the pots, 5 each, onto one drying rack, and then from the drying racks, once they get done, to the cauldron, from the cauldron to the lab, and from the lab to the very first mixing station. And of course, we've already set up the mixing stations. We showed you, just set them up like so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then it goes to this right here. So we're going to have movers move this from there to the packaging station, which we'll show you here shortly. But yeah, that should be pretty well set up now. So we can go ahead and put names on this. Like, for example, the very first one here is oil, kook, paracetamol, gas, kook, battery, horse gum, and bean. So we're going to go ahead and set that up as far as those signs go behind there. And then we're going to go ahead and start setting up and assigning tasks to all the rest of the workers. We did a little bit of labeling and got the rest of the stuff labeled. So right here we have pre-finished product shelves, and then another shelf for other products that we have. We have just some miscellaneous storage. We'll go ahead and put a sign up there that says miscellaneous for storage right there. We got some additional storage right here for the Botanist, and then the 3 Botanist shelves. We got 2 baggies shelves right here for baggies we're going to pull from. We've got all these labeled right here, all 8 of the mixture, and then extra for the extra. And we have a finished or pre-bagged shelf right here. This is where this is going to go before it gets bagged, so it's split between the 2 bagging stations. We have all the stations labeled like so, in case we forget the recipe. And then we have some extra storage right here, and we can go ahead and get rid of these. This is just for earlier, so we can actually show you what items you needed. So the only thing we haven't set up yet is the packaging stations. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. So we're going to have AI move from that shelf in the corner over here. We're going to have them move it to the packaging stations here, but we need a destination for the packaging stations. So that's why we have these shelves over here. We're going to have this one move to that one right there, and we can even split it between 2 shelves, which is what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and split it between these 2 shelves right here. So now these last 2 shelves right here are going to get full of the product, and then this one right here will just kind of be like an extra storage. You could do the same thing for the bricks here, so you can have them going from here to the pre-bagged straight to the bricks, and then from the bricks to a shelf if you want. You can do either one. Like I said, we've set it up just for baggies because we like baggies, but you choose what you want to do. So let's go play with the AI a little bit. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and set up our botanists because they're the very first part of this whole operation. So we have some botanists here. We're going to go ahead and set up their supply benches first. This first botanist, this will be botanist number 1 right here. And then we can go ahead and set up their racks here. We can go ahead and have them do as many air pots as they possibly can, which is 8 per botanist. We're going to go ahead and assign them to all these pots we can here. Just click on it and then it'll pop back up. Click on it again. So that is 8 air pots that one's assigned to, and look, they're already starting to work, which is really good. So we'll go ahead and go to our next botanist, and we're going to do the same thing and finish off those air pots. Go ahead and put a supplies. We're going to move that supplies from supplies number 2 here. And we're going to go ahead and assign them the air pots. Now you can't assign the same air pots because it'll show like a little red text here saying it's already been assigned, but you can go ahead and click on the last one. Click on that. Go ahead and assign them to as many air pots as we can here. Like so. Okay, and that botanist is done. Now let's go grab our third botanist. And that's going to be this one right here. We'll go ahead and assign them to the third shelf that they're going to pull from, like so. And we'll go ahead and give them the rest of the air pots. And they're also going to get the drying racks. So we need to assign botanists to the drying racks. Like that. And then this air pot right here. And then we're also going to give them the drying racks here. All 4 of these drying racks. Like so. And that should be a complete... They should be completely busy, and all the botanists should now be completely set up and automated. They're going to go ahead and do their thing. If they ever get stuck in the middle of here, just give them a nice little motivation tap, and they'll get unstuck. Like that. So let's go ahead and start setting up our chemists. We're going to pick one of the chemists here. We're going to hit 9 and set up our chemist. We'll go ahead and set them up to 4 stations. This one right here is going to go ahead and start doing the mixing stations. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then they should be set up and ready to go. Once they get product to mix, we're going to do that to the next chemist as well. And do the rest of the 4 mixing stations. Like so. Okay, and that chemist should be good to go. And then the last chemist is going to do the labs. So we'll go ahead and go to our last chemist here. And they're going to go ahead and do the labs and the cauldrons. So we're going to go ahead and assign them to this lab right here, this lab right here, and then the 2 cauldrons as well. And that's going to be their job. So we have 2 chemists doing all the mixing stations, and then 1 chemist doing the labs and the cauldrons right here. So the next part is setting up our movers and our packagers. And this is probably one of the harder parts, or at least the more tedious parts to do. So we're going to go ahead and grab one of our movers here. We're going to hit 9, and we're going to go ahead and select them. So we're going to go ahead and assign this one, the very first one, to the 2 packaging stations over here. This one right here, and this one right here. And we're going to go ahead and add a complete set of routes here as well. And the very first route is going to be right here. We're going to have him moving oil to the oil one. And then we're going to go back and have them moving kook to the second station that does kook. And we're just going to keep repeating this going down the row here. Paracetamol. This is paracetamol. Gasoline. To gasoline. Right here. And then lastly, kook. To kook, which is right here. So that should be all that that person can do. Let's go ahead and move on to our next handler right here. They won't have any stations assigned or anything like that. What we're going to do is add a complete set of routes again and just pick up where we left off. So the very last one we did, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be battery. So we need to start with battery and move it to the battery station here. Like so. And then we're going to go ahead and select or semen and move it to this one right here. And then we're going to go ahead and select bean and move it to the bean one. So now that all should be set up. That should be all 8 of the products automatically being fed straight into the mixers. And then, of course, the chemists are going to take care of all of the mixing. So then now we have this shelf right here. We need to find that person again. I think it's this one right here. It is. And we want to go ahead and have them moving from this shelf right here to either your brick or your baggie station. We're going to do the baggie station. And then from this shelf right here to the other baggie station. And then the mixing person should be able to bag it. And what they'll do is they'll put it over at the finished product section. So we have one last person that we need to actually start moving things. This is the person we haven't done yet. So let's go ahead and add some more routes to this person. And what we're going to do is we're going to have this person moving baggies right here into the packaging station. And then same thing here to the packaging station. Now, the next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be having this person moving gasoline. We have a special gas shelf right here. We're moving gasoline to the cauldron, and then same shelf to the other cauldron, like so. But now we just got to kind of wait. So we got to wait for all of our cocoa to grow. The botanists are sitting there growing. If you see them kind of stuck like this one is right here, just give them a good old love tap like that. Good old motivation punch, and they should unstick and go start doing their job like that. So sometimes they do get stuck. So the AI in this game does sometimes kind of suck, but hopefully they'll be fixed in the future. But now they're going to sit there and grow all this product. They're going to take it from the plants here to the racks, from the racks to the cauldron, to the cauldron to the lab oven, and then from the lab oven to these mixing stations. You can see these mixing stations are already full. They've already filled up every single one of these mixing stations with what they need. So once that coke starts coming out and is finished in the lab oven, it's going to start being mixed all the way down from here, all the way down through here with the 8 mixture set on the shelf, and it's going to be bagged in these packaging stations here and then moved up front here. So now all we got to do is wait and let them kind of do their own thing. They got to sit there and do all their product. Just make sure they have plenty of money in their bags, on their beds, and or lockers, and you should be good to go. So we're going to wait just a little while and go ahead and let them process their stuff. We'll go ahead and empty this out here just to kind of show you that they are actually producing product. Let's go ahead and put it on this backup shelf right here. So it looks like everything is working great. If not, always start back from the very first part, which is the botanist, and then work towards the racks and all that good stuff. Go through there and make sure everything is chained together for your automation. Now, like I said, this is automated to a T. So basically you have to make sure you keep this rack right here, these 3 racks full. You want to make sure they always have seeds, fertilizer, and some soil in all 3 of these racks. You want to always make sure they have baggies if you're doing baggies. If not, making them into bricks. You don't have to have anything for bricks. So you should be good with that. And then you always have to make sure you have product on this back wall here. Make sure you always have the oil, kook, paracetamol, gas, kook, battery, horse semen, and the bean. Now, one of the easiest ways I found is just to do deliveries, and you can do deliveries from any of the stores. For example, if you want to do it from the cart, you could buy all this stuff and have it shipped straight to you. And that is one way you can make some serious freaking money. You can sit there and set up this 8 mixture recipe that's fully automated, with the exception of just adding the products onto the shelves and then taking the product to your dealers and or dealing it yourself. So we're going to wait until they actually finish the very first product. Oh, and you also have to keep your gas shelf filled as well. I wouldn't double up and take gas from this shelf right here. Probably will go way too quickly, but you can if you want to. That's completely up to you. But you always have to make sure your gas shelf right here for your cauldrons is filled as well. So basically just fill in shelves and they do all the rest. And you go sell it and make tons of money. And here we are about a day or 2 later, and we finally got our first mixtures going. And once it starts going, it should be going pretty well, and you should have plenty of product to sell every single night. But they're mixing our very first product here. which is awesome. They got it from the lab oven, and it went straight from the lab oven over. And they're sitting there mixing up some more Cauldron stuff, which is really cool. If your NPCs get stuck at any given point in time, you can go ahead and restart the game, and that does actually just go ahead and go up to the wall here and hit save, like so, and just restart the game. And it should help getting them unstuck. Sometimes the AI gets confused and you have to do that. So now this one's going to go to this one right here, like so. And they're going to go ahead and mix it like that. It's going to go completely down through the line until it comes to a finished product. And finally, we have a finished product. They were able to make 10, and they have, I think, another 20 coming here sometime soon. Looks like they may be moving it sometime soon. Yeah, right here. Very end here. We're going to move it over to that shelf there, and it should be ready to be packaged. That's another 10, so that should make 20. And that was after about 2 to 3 days. And as long as you keep feeding these shelves, you should be good to go. And they should keep steadily making product for you, and you should be able to fill these shelves up quite quickly. That is definitely a really nice automated completely, except for, like I said, the shelving. But it's really good setup. You can go off and do other things, have fun, go sell your product, and they will sit here and basically work and craft the product for you. And of course, this product, like I said, it does work up to be a $999 recipe. We called it the Golden Coke Rock. It's an 8 recipe, makes them super addicted to it. So once they get addicted to it, you can ask for super high prices like we are right here, $999. So then all you have to do is list it and you should be good to go. You should be able to start selling it for, I think when we first started selling it, it wasn't exactly $999, but when you start selling it more and more, the more they become addicted, I think the more they need it. And we also always sell it at night, which we're getting ready to show you here shortly. And we always ask our customers for more than $999, and we also sell it at late night when the curfew's on, so we can make even more money. We make anywhere from $1,200 to $1,400 per product. And now we're going to show you the selling aspect of it. So we have some fiends here, and look, they want to pay for 2 Golden Coke Rocks. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and counter offer them and actually ask for a little bit more money, and they always usually pay it. Usually another 100 or 200 is what we ask them. And we always schedule it for late night from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. The reason why that is because they never expire at that time, and also you get a curfew bonus on top of that. So you're going to sell this product for even more money. And look, this one right here wants it for $1,210. We're going to go ahead and counter offer them there. And then we got them for late night as well. Yeah, you can end up selling them for quite a bit of money, especially once they get addicted. You can sell them for quite a bit more money than even the $999. And then you make a ton of money from this. And you can just give your sellers some bricks of this stuff, or give them the baggies, and they can sell it for you too and make anywhere from like $50,000 to $60,000 if you have all your dealers set up like we do. We have all of our dealers set up like this right here. Look, Benji's got $42,000 in cash himself, $40,000 on Brad, $42,000 at Jane. Leo's got 36. Molly's got, so we got a lot of money coming our way. And we really just, you get to the point, man, where you honestly are making a lot more money than you can actually bank. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to sell to them after curfew. And it's quite easy, actually. So it looks like they got us a really good stock here of product. We're going to go ahead and grab us a baggie of it. And we're going to go ahead and sell it to our customers. We are using the Granddaddy fuel that we have a video on our channel for, if you're interested in that. We're going to take that and go and sell a bunch of product to people for lots and lots of money. Let's go ahead and show you how that works. So we are selling after curfew. So anytime you sell after curfew, you get a curfew bonus. So we're going to get tons of money from this. Watch, we're going to sell them 1 Golden Coke Rock for $1,500 plus. Not only that, we're getting an additional $300 on top of this for just one product. And it's quite easy to sell and make and automate. Yeah, okay, the police are stuck. So let's go to the next one. This one right here wanted it for $1,400, almost $1,500. And we also get the curfew bonus on top of that. So we're making a ton of money per product. With this Granddaddy fuel, you can sit there and run by cops and run fast and jump high like this. And nobody will ever be able to catch you, to be honest with you. So if you grab that, you can go off and sell your product and give it to your dealers so they can sell to your fiends that are under them, and oh, let's go sell the rest of them. And the great thing about doing it at night when the curfew is on is that it never expires. And even if you hit that, it's at 4 a.m., go to sleep to progress to tomorrow, you'll never have your deals run out. And you can just sit there and take your sweet time, spoken from Herbert, and we can go ahead and sell Herbert some product. So they'll sit here and wait until you get here. Oh, we need 2 of them. Okay, nice. So that's going to be a grand total of 2,600 plus another 534 curfew bonus, which is insane. And that is it, everybody. That is the process of a fully automated coat facility that they're sitting there packaging it up even more right now. We got almost a whole entire shelf here of product already. That's how you can set it up, and you can make tons of profit. You can do this in the barn as well. You just gotta pretty much follow the same premise as what we did here in the video. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Peace.